Are you suddenly now becoming not only aware of your own energy, but the energy around you and in your environment? Well, I'm Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. We've been talking about how we are all being invited to wake up our inner senses, start to come online as more conscious, creative, aware beings, and move from the third dimension, which is just ego, dense, fear, conflict, into a higher frequency of expanded, connected, divinely guided beings that we are. Now, today I'm going to talk about how to create an environment that is really conducive to raising your vibration and really feeling connected to your spirit guides, and to the higher positive, uplifting vibrations of the planet. So if you're new to my channel, I'm so happy you're here. We've been having this conversation and we're all in the process together with my guides and your guides' help in how to start living at a higher frequency. So I hope you find something really exciting here because I think your guides brought you. And if you're coming back again, welcome back. We're in the midst of a huge transformation. And today we're going to talk about something super practical that my guides brought to me today, which is about creating an energetic vibration where you live that really supports, uplifts, and elevates your energy. I mean, think about it. Have you ever walked into a place and it just had yuck vibes? You didn't really know it was yuck vibes, or maybe if you're somewhat aware you did, you couldn't explain it. Even beautiful places. You walk in and it's like, I don't like the energy here. It's because we are energetically, vibrationally sensitive beings, and energy affects us. In a big way, it affects our moods. It affects our health. Believe it or not, it even affects the quality of our relationships. So we need to be, as fifth sensory, five sensory, awakened, conscious beings, we need to be mindful and selective and thoughtful and creative in charge of the vibration we choose to live in. And it starts with our homes. Have you ever walked into a beautiful place or maybe into a place you wanted to buy or rent or even a place you visited and you just couldn't relax and you couldn't understand why? It was not a vibrational match for you. It was something about that vibration didn't correspond and elevate you. It agitated you. But how about when you walk into your own home? Does it agitate you? Well, believe it or not, a lot of people are agitated by space and place, and even may have been okay at one point in their lives with a certain quality or frequency of their home, but as you grow, you may want to change things. For example, I moved to Paris 10 years ago, and in that 10 years, I've grown a lot. When I first came here, I just had my dad die, my brother die, my husband of 30 years, divorced me. I lost everything I had created. It was quite a tragic mess. So when I moved here, I had not very little, just very little what I could put in a suitcase and start over again. My choice for sure, but my emotions and my identity were shattered, and the vibration of the home I created, I called sanctuary. I kept it super white, very neutral, and very calm, and it did the trick for me then. But about a year and a half ago, I walked in the door, and I thought, this place is not for me anymore. It's happy. It's too quiet. It's too yucky. So I gave everything away. Now, don't think it was a big deal because I live in a very small place, but I felt good about that. I brought in color. I brought in new plants. I brought in colorful lights and new pillows. And all of a sudden, it was mirroring the vibration that I had evolved and worked hard to be in. Now, I know a lot of us are working very, very hard to grow, to evolve, to be more conscious. And with that comes a lot of disruption. Maybe a change of job, maybe a dramatical shift of health, maybe a change of relationship. And I've been through all of that. It's not easy. So as you're changing, be very discerning. Look at the environment you're in, and does it really mirror and reflect what uplifts you. You have the right, and I invite you to have the self-love to make the necessary changes that match your evolutionary awakening. I just spoke with a woman that I read for, and she asked me, and she said, Sonia, my parents were very difficult. They raised me, they provided for me, but they were psychologically very, very abusive. And I had to just nearly run away from home. And during COVID, they passed away, both of them. And she said, actually, two things are going on that I'm really struggling with. But the biggest one is I inherited my mom's furniture. And it's in my house. And every time I see it, I just remember how much misery I experienced with her. And I feel like I should keep it. I don't know why. I don't want to. What should I do? And I said, get rid of it. It keeps you stuck in an experience where she's not even embodied anymore. And you've grown, and maybe you can forgive her. But when you forgive her, let go of the furniture too. Give yourself permission to be liberated, because one of the elements of the fifth dimension is non-attachment. And that really makes a difference when it's non-attachment to things. In fact, put in the comments here, have you felt that urge? Do you feel like all of a sudden what I needed so badly, I don't want anymore? Or where I moved or lived for 30 years, all of a sudden I got to get out of here and change my environment altogether? It's part of this evolutionary process that we are going to be revisiting the things we've created around us because they have energy. I mean, just rub your hands together and feel your energy. Everything has energy. Just walk into an antique store if you don't think so, and you can feel the spirits sitting in the chairs and hanging out and all that energy. So as an intuitive fifth sensory being, someone who's really conscious and really aware and following your energy and creating a life that vibrates as a match to who you are and lifts you up, it's in time to scrutinize your environment. And I personally advocate being ruthless. I don't care if things are good. If they're not good for you, give them away. Let them be good for someone else. This reminds me when I first got married, before I got divorced years ago, my sister gave me a Salvador Dali lithograph. Now that was considered extremely valuable. But here's the deal. Bummed me out. I didn't like it. I appreciated the gesture, and my third dimension self says, oh, wow, what a valuable, expensive gift. But I put it on the wall, and it was this really sad crucifixion experience, and it just didn't resonate. It irritated me. It almost put me in a bad mood. So I tolerated that for a while, playing the game of this is real art. This is so good for me. And then I put it in a closet. I thought, well, I don't want to look at it. Well, every time I walk by the closet, it'd be like bad vibes coming out of the closet. And finally one day I said, this is dumb. That painting has a destiny that's not in this house. And it's not enjoying being locked in the closet. So when we had a yard sale, I gave it away. I didn't even sell it. I told the woman who took it, I'd pay her to take it away. And of course, I feel guilty. So I finally told my sister I gave it away. I said, I'm sorry. I know it was very expensive and it makes no financial sense. And I don't know why, but I had to. And she laughed and she said, I understand. I didn't like it either. It's why I gave it to you. So we both had a good laugh. And somebody out there in the world is enjoying this. So it's fulfilling its destiny too. I feel the same way about everything. And I have lived with that spiritual teaching, both through my spiritual teachers who I've had in the third dimension and my spirit guides who are saying, are you sure you want that? I remember at one point I put on a coat that I had worn quite a period of time when I was sad. And one day I put it on. And I didn't like the vibe. It was saturated with this period in my life that was very painful. And then I thought, somebody might enjoy this coat. There are a lot of immigrants. There are a lot of homeless people. I'm just going to give it to someone. And it was such a joyful experience to just walk out the door and go, you want this? I've done this with lots of things. I give things away freely because they have a place. It's just not with me. Not anymore. So I want you to look into your environment with a discerning, energetically discerning awareness. Have you felt that you have, like, a lot of people end relationships, but they hang on to momentums and jewelry and whatever, and it's just agitating. In the end, it's all stuff. I've spent a lot of time with people who have crossed over. I've been in hospice work. I've been with people in their last dying breaths, and I know that they all have shared with me, hold on to nothing but the people you love and being loving. So all this stuff that we are told is important, and of course, I'm saying be practical, but energetically is being practical. If something is energetically agitating to you or not uplifting, I recommend that you clear it. Your home should be your sanctuary. Create an environment here that mirrors the experience you want to have, including, can you imagine, creating a feeling of this is my sanctuary. Now, some of the things you can do that are really helpful, I do want the clearing out first. I invite that. In fact, tell me what you've cleared out. Post it, and then tell me how it left you feeling and how liberating it can be, because I promise you, you will feel that. But then you can bring in very intentional things that do bring in a lovely new energy. Fresh flowers always bring in a lovely new energy. Beautiful plants always bring in beautiful energy. Lights. I've actually been pointed out that clump of lights on your plant triggers me. It's like, my granddaughter put those lights there, so they are going to stay clumped up because that brings me joy. And that's the point. It's not necessarily just what it looks like, but what it leaves you feeling. What it leaves you feeling. I've cleared out clothes. Maybe you want to clear out clothes. And again, if you are someone who wants to always, sell it or whatever, there's certainly so many ways to do that, but there is joy in giving. So consider being as generous to create new energy. And if you're in stagnation and you want to change, this is energetically very powerful. Letting things go is an act of faith that I am connected to the divine matrix that will take care of me, and it will bring you back things that match you on a new level. I have a client who said, look, I just gave away a home that I inherited because I don't need it. I'm 73. I got this home from my family, and I gave it to a homeless family. They were really struggling. He's been working on my yard. He's been helping me. I'm very blessed. She said I gave him the home. Everybody thinks I'm nuts, but I'm at peace. Can you imagine the joy of being able to do that and the miracle that put in someone's life? It's incredible. So I know this stretches a lot of people's third dimension, hang on, make money, but it's a different value when you live in the fifth dimension. And it's based on the fact that everything you need will come to you if you open the doors and allow it. But it's based on you have to let go of what's in the hand to reach out for something greater. And so all I'm asking or suggesting this week in our elevation to a higher frequency is to be very conscious, honest, and present to what you live in, and know that you have choices, and to be present and to recognize if something's affecting you in a less than positive way, then I encourage you to move it on in the most beautiful, responsible, generous way back to the world. And just, it goes without saying, hello, that just being neat and clean creates a beautiful vibration. And I don't mean you need to be like sterile, but I mean for you, it feels neat and clean. For you. I have a client that I knew years ago who, by everyone else's standards, was extremely messy, but by his standards, he was an artist. These were the things that he needed to create. And here's the deal. He did create and did use those things and did put out a lot of good in the world. So they were, in fact, his tools and his laboratory. But then I've been with people who live in just messy, unloved, uncared for, energy. And when that's the case, it just reflects a mental state that's really dark and negative and off-putting. So at minimum, do a cleaning and a clearing. It will really help raise the vibration, and it improves the connection to your guides. So speaking of guides, I got the feeling that I'm going to pull a card from my Ask Your Guides deck to finish this, to see what they have to say about this idea of creating a higher vibration in your physical world. So we're going to shuffle the deck from the Ask Your Guides deck and ask our guides to give us what they would like us to consider. So I shuffled side to hand to hand, pull the cards open. Just love these cards. They are such good vibes. I'm going to pull this card out. Let's see. This one is the one speaking. And it says leadership. And the guide that's working with you is the higher self. So can you imagine that something as simple as clearing and creating a beautiful vibration in your home takes the leadership of your life back, gives you power? It really does. I want you to share this with me. This is the Ask Your Guides deck, by the way, if you want to work with the guides as continuing conversation. And the final thing I want to share before I finish today is bless your home. Bless your rooms, bless your plants, bless your furniture, bless the spirits of the home, bless the land, thank it. All these things create a beautiful, beautiful vibration, and it will uplift and enlighten and even open the intuitive channels for new ideas, new relationships, new inspiration, new jobs. Start by blessing. First, clearing what doesn't serve, blessing, and be grateful for what does. Call in the guides, talk to them if you need help, ask your guides cards, and really be available to that. I will be helped if I help myself. So please point out, just share with me your comments, your experience of this, if you let anything go, and please also share with me the good things that inevitably and almost immediately will follow. I promise you, if nothing else, just feeling good when you come home. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, I'm going to talk about how to create altars and work with guides and how to talk to them and how to thank them and work with you. So I'll see you then. If you're new to my channel, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Better yet, please, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. It keeps the channel going. It keeps this good, practical, grounded energy moving and our guides talking to you. All my love. See you next week.